If you want to get higher quality leads in LinkedIn in 2026, you need to stop doing this one thing that all of the gurus have been telling you to do. So a quick context on who I am. My name is Luke Shalom. I have helped over 100 plus agency owners to scale founder-led predictable pipelines on LinkedIn to the tune of 130 million worth of pipeline and over 1.3 million in agency sales for myself over the last 3 years. So the common advice that everybody tells you need to follow is we need to give everything away for free, and magically we're going to attract all of our clients. This, my friends, is pure cope. This is instructed by the very people that do not run the business models that we're running. Like if you're an agency owner right now who's at around the 1 to 5 million mark as it stands, you can't afford to run the Alex Hormozi model. Alex Hormozi, he's already worth a ton of money, right? He doesn't need to have revenue anytime soon for any of his portfolio companies. So his method of showing up and giving value over time and then these people eventually reaching out to work with you is fucking brilliant if you have the upfront capital to do that. But you, my friend, are playing a different game. And if you give away all of your knowledge, so, people will pay you to cook the sauce in 2026, you're probably going to go to zero with your agency. And I know that sounds incredibly hyperbolic, but I only say that because it's from personal experience of the hardship, of the feeling of not doing enough, of showing up and writing content every day to know that I had nothing to show for it for my first 6 months on LinkedIn, to the point now where my own LinkedIn content, I can predictably get the pipeline to sign a $15,000 client every single week whenever I want to. And it all came about because I stopped giving everything away for free. Now, the reason for this is, guys, it's down to two principles that we look at. There's the argument. It comes down to value, which is, hey, I'll give away everything for free, and then maybe people will pay me to do it for them because of that goodwill built up. And then the other one is insight. Let's break down what this is. Value is telling people how to do the thing. Hey, here's how you get X amount of leads in X amount of time. Here's how you do this SEO setup in 3 simple steps. You know it. You've seen this content hundreds of times. Value is simple. Value is also logical. I can find this on the front page of Google. If I Google this, it's coming up with an SEO article. Anybody can find value content. It's completely undifferentiated as it stands. So the next piece here is value attracts people, and this is the main problem here. It attracts these people, the DIYers, the do-it-yourselfers, the guys that will never, ever buy from you. They're going to sit there and go, hey buddy, great posts, great insights. I think you know who I mean, but they will never, ever buy. So this is the change you've got to make. You've got to go from value content across into insight content. And I promise you, my friends, if you make this one change, you will see conversions in your content and on your outbound piece in days, not weeks or months. Now, why is insight different? Because insight is not about advice. It's about opinions informed by lived experiences. Your hard-earned experiences on the battlefield doing the thing that you do best. And it's stuff that people cannot get from Google. There's certain use cases of, say if I work with a cloud service company and there's a certain synchronicity there in maybe the tech stack that they use, for example, which is similar to another company, and there's a certain way of you handling that problem. That is stuff that only you would know from your lived experience. And the great thing about this is nobody can beat you at being you. And I know that sounds trite, but this is un-AIable. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm coining it now. This is something that you won't get from ChatGPT. Insight doesn't tell your clients how to solve their problem. It does something far better, because the rich client, right? I might as well just write rich clients or, right fit clients, however you want to look at it. I'm just putting it rich here because it's hyperbolic for LinkedIn, but we could just call it ICP, especially B2B. They don't want the breakdown of all of the details. They just want to know where to look to solve the problem. And that's what insight content does. It's like it points out where the fire is and how your finger's the extinguisher. And what that looks like is, for example, value content would take an approach like this. Hey, this is how you build a lead list, and this is how, it works. And if you do this, you'll get some response rates. Insight content says, you not knowing how to build the right lead list at the moment is murdering your conversions. And as a result, you're getting lots of your campaigns that could work underperforming because you don't have a great idea of who you're even going after in the market and who's ready to buy. See, telling them where to look to solve their problem, not how to do it. The next, if you get your lead list right and it's filled with the right sort of people with the right intent, you will be able to meet the 80% of the people in the market who aren't looking for your solution but could be. See, I haven't told them how, but I've told them the extinguisher. The purpose of doing this is value is just instructions, right? And this insight is the perspective that makes them need your brain. And it's like that Naval Ravikant line, he says, get paid for your brain and not your time. So this is absolutely key. Now, the underpinning of all of this, value to insight, comes down to one thing, one simple thing, that if you were to take away a post of whether it was value or whether it was insight, and whether you're on the right lines of your content strategy or whether you're just going to be collecting an audience of do-it-yourselfers, is something actually incredibly simple. And I learned this from studying multiple guys like, Dan Kennedy, I'm sure you've heard of J.K. Molina, the guys that write great cold email. And I realized that there was one critical thing that these guys had that made me convert with their copy. And for you to know if it's insight or not, it's one simple thing. When you read your post, does it drive a burning how? What do I mean by that? If I read a piece of content and I don't think, crikey, how are they doing this? How can they help me? Then it is not an insight piece of content, and thus it will not convert. That is the ultimate meta frame to detect, hey, did I switch from value to insight content? That is it, my friends. That is 4 years worth of LinkedIn posting, over 10,000 posts reviewed, and over 130 million of client pipeline generated from LinkedIn, guys. That is, in essence, all you need to do. So I promise you this, if you move in 2026 from value-based content to insight content and make sure that that content is based around not instructions, but your opinions, your lived experiences, rather what I could find on the front page of Google, and it drives a burning how, you will improve your lead flow quality at a dramatic pace. If you enjoyed this video, my name is Luke Shalom. I break down on YouTube and on LinkedIn founder-led strategies so you can drive predictable pipeline. If you got some value from this video, make sure to hit subscribe on the button somewhere below here as it stands at the moment. And if you are interested about what it would look like to build a predictable founder-led motion on LinkedIn so you can really predictably get, 5 to 10 of your ideal sort of clients on LinkedIn every single month with under 30 minutes of your time per day, hit me up on my LinkedIn link, which is probably in the description. If you're viewing me on LinkedIn, you can just reach out to me there.